Live. Oh,
Hey,
oh, this
nothing
is
much,
so,
just getting through the day.
this is like so complicated. You want to add your company name to your name? I didn't. I didn't have you do that earlier. Let me move myself over here.
And I think I probably not because I'm on my phone and this is my first time using this. So I don't know.
Isn't it cool?
It is cool. I'm not really sure how to do that though. So I'm just
Oh,
gonna leave.
well, yeah, you're fine. You're fine. If I can, I'll change it if I can, and I
Okay.
can, and I will. Haha. All right. Anyway, well, welcome everybody. I know we have a couple of people who are tuning in on Facebook, and a couple of people who are going to be tuning in on YouTube. So we'll see how that goes as everything goes live. I'm going to double check to make sure everything is working and then share the stream into our specific groups. But how are you doing today?
Today I'm doing good. Still have a few things to do.
Yeah.
I'm attempting to cook a little bit tomorrow for the first time. In previous years, I've always gone home or ordered things from Whole Foods or whatever. So this year, one of my roommates has gotten into the holiday spirit and wants us to do a dinner here at the house. So I said
Mm.
that I would make some items, and I still have to pick up some ingredients for that. But I had a good morning in the garden and feeling good to be back in Miami. It's cold outside.
It is. It's too cold for me. I'm up in Central Florida. I'm just like, no, no, no. This is. You can't be doing this. No.
Well, cold for us is really not that bad for the rest of the country, but
No. For the rest of the country, they're like, what? What is this? This is brisk. No. No. This is. This is a for people from Miami. This is an abomination.
exactly. We're in our little cold front, but it feels good to be here, so I'm glad. I'm happy.
Okay.
How are you doing?
I'm doing good. Earlier this week, been going down back and forth between Miami last week and this week. Um, I ended up spending about 10 hours on the road on Monday. So that kind of like threw off my whole schedule for
Yeah.
the rest of the week, trying to catch up with everything. But it's been interesting and fun. We're spending some time over at my girlfriend's parents' house, which is a nice little ranch in Central Florida near the Ocala, Tampa area. So it's cool and relaxing. You probably hear stuff in the background. Sorry if you do. But yeah, it's cool and it's nice. But I know with everybody who's an entrepreneur, especially going into like tomorrow, seeing family and having them be like, "Hey, how's that business? How's that little business thing of yours going?" Or Black Friday. A lot of people are going to be very stressed out. So that's the reason why we wanted to have this talk and discussion today. Um, because I don't think entrepreneurs, I don't think we talk enough about like how important it is to discuss like self-care, right?
Yeah.
Actually, you ended up creating Quoca. Why did you decide to create Quoca to give entrepreneurs a space to actually um, share and talk?
Yeah. Well, Quoca originally, it's come a long way. So I feel like the answer to why I created it, it's still evolving in terms of what it will become. I'm an artist, so entrepreneurs were one niche group out of many that I felt were deserving of more mental health support, and not just support, but preventative tools, knowledge, access to information, education around how do you handle challenges when they come your way and without getting making it worse. Like the thing about Quoka is it's text messaging. It's not like Reddit or an app or Slack channels or other communities which do exist, and a lot of that is really important to us feeling connected,
Mm-hmm.
but it can be draining as well if
Oh
you
yeah, definitely.
into an endless stream of distractions. Or I don't know if you've ever logged on to one of these channels and completely forgotten what you came there for, and time just passes.
That
So
happens on almost every social media app.
Exactly. So that's one thing about Quoca. It's that we're trying to deliver it in a way that it's not causing more mental health challenges. It's
Mhm.
really quick. You can get in, get out. You don't have to respond if you aren't available to at that time. And no one will, it's not like you ghost the Slack channel, then 3 months later you come back and everyone's like, where have you
Where are
been?
you then?
But yeah, entrepreneurs was a group that I felt I knew very well out of all of the ones I wanted to target. And so we are starting with them. And then hopefully we'll expand to other groups as well. And why it makes such an impact when entrepreneurs are mentally well, and the other groups as well, also veterans and teachers and single parents and doctors. These are some of the other groups that I would like to support, that I will support. But they're groups of people that when they're mentally well, it impacts out, it vibrates through a whole community. I really do think everyone needs better mental health support. We need to be talking about it and helping people with these tools and looking at what we've been doing so far and wondering why the problem is just getting worse instead of getting better. But if you have an entrepreneur that's not mentally well, then they're creating from a space that's not their best, and they're not going to be able to achieve that level of excellence that we all want. And every day when you go out in the world or even just online, you're interacting with something that an entrepreneur has created in
Mhm.
most situations, businesses or the technology that we use. And if these people that are creating these stuff, they're not mentally well, then it's just not their best work.
Mhm.
So I don't know if that makes any sense around why I created this or what kind of things I'm hoping to affect change in different areas with the project. But it certainly has been an experience for myself to just bring it out and offer it to people. So,
Well, it's an experience that you're going through that really does help out the entire community because, like you mentioned, every day people are coming into contact with something that's created by an entrepreneur, and if they're not in the right mental space, like you mentioned, they're not going to be creating from a true place of like abundance or caring, and they won't be able to create things that are absolutely amazing. And to think about it, like most even with most of the apps that you use and the content that you consume on these apps, a lot of it just so happens to be from entrepreneurs or business owners. Either the content itself or the ads that are in between the content, which you're constantly consuming.
right.
Uh, if they're not from people who are like in the right mental state, it's not going to come across as beneficial. And I noticed that with like certain ads. Like certain ads just make you feel kind of weird. Although
Yeah.
when you find an entrepreneur who's in the right mental space, who's calm, confident, and cool, they're able to come across in a completely different way when they put out content, they put out ads, and they truly benefit the people that they're trying to reach. I've personally noticed that. So that's one thing that's really cool. So thank you for putting together the Quoca community. I'm glad to be part of that.
Glad to
I,
Thank
what
you.
were you going to say?
I said I'm glad to have you in there.
Yeah. You can probably tell which one I am, even though it's an anonymous community. It should be pretty obvious which one I am from our weekly check-ins and stuff. Um, but we know why you put together Quoca now. So like, let's talk about some of the things that you may have noticed that help you personally with self-care, especially when it comes to really stressful times. What are some
Yeah.
things that help you?
And I hope these tips will help others as well. And maybe if there are people that are watching live, chime in with things that have helped you. It'd be great to see. One of the things I want to start off with is just we all have our routine. If you don't have a routine, then working on getting one is a good place to start.
Mm-hmm.
So, whether that's for me doing yoga in the morning, expressing gratitude, spending time with myself before having other meetings with people, keeping that going through the holidays, even if I'm at a new location for a family visit, is important. So you don't kind of get off track. So that should be probably baseline for everyone.
There's a
And then,
routine.
yeah,
Maintain
these
routine.
other tips that I give,
It's kind of funny that you brought up routines because that's something that's been like playing. I had a huge call yesterday that was supposed to be just like an hour long class. It ended up turning into a 3 hour class where we talked about like all this other stuff about habits and habit formation. And one of the
Hmm.
things that's helped me personally with becoming more relaxed and stable, and it's oddly enough, it's a habit that I've noticed again and again coming up with different entrepreneurs. And I actually watched Alex Hormozy. He made a video about this, and I think he released it. Either I watched it today or he released it today, where he talked about the four main habits that he used that helped him build, uh, that helped him make $100 million. And one of those habits wasn't in the daytime. It was in the morning routine. It was a nighttime routine and having a set bedtime.
Nice.
And I was like, you know what? That's really funny because that's completely the opposite of what people say for like hustle culture for like entrepreneurs, where it's like grind until 4 a.m. and then go to bed and then get up 2 hours later and then do it again. No, no. And it's funny because the people that I followed in courses and in like private, the super successful people that really do achieve a lot, they typically do not stay up late. They are going to sleep at a decent time because they wake up early. And the only reason why they're able to wake up early is because they have the set bedtime. And that's like one of those unspoken tips that I don't think people really do discuss.
Yeah, I would. I mean, admire someone who can do that. I certainly haven't gotten that far on the journey. My sleep is all messed up, even so. But I can give it a try. Going to
Get
bed at
that
a certain time
bedtime.
of day, pick a bedtime.
Mm-hmm.
That's something we learned when we were young, anyways. Try to incorporate it.
Mm-hmm.
It's just falling asleep, get quieting the mind. I think there's some things to do maybe before as you prepare for rest that help you kind of unwind and get ready to go into that state. Um,
Mm-hmm.
One thing that I've used that's been helpful is CBD.
CBD
Uh,
before bed.
CBD, it doesn't like conk me out, but it helps me sleep longer. So I get
Okay.
more hours of rest a night when I take my CBD.
Hmm. So CBD to have longer rest. That's interesting. Try
Yeah.
to add that together with go having a bedtime. And that was one thing that really did help me out a lot. Was incorporating a bedtime because I actually started that. I think getting more consistent with my bedtime. I have done CBD for the daytime actually for helping out the daytime, not necessarily to go to sleep. So it's helped me with relaxing during the day, but
Hmm.
the bedtime has been like one of the biggest things that has really impacted how I like show up during the day and how much I get done because I can wake up earlier, and waking up earlier just becomes you feel superhuman because you're able to get more stuff done in the day before people uh, before people have even like woken up and like rubbed the sleep out of their eyes, and it's like yeah, oh, you guys are just waking up. Oh, okay, all right, day's already done for me.
Yeah, definitely getting an early start is great for me too, so I can recalibrate and be ready for human interactions. Like I need a good 4 or 5 hours just with myself
Yeah,
first.
a good 4 to 5 hours. I usually take a good two, like a good 2 hours to myself before I start off for the day. Helps out a lot. So okay, so now we talked about routine. So keeping routines, that's something that
Yeah,
really helps out a lot. Having a set bedtime or
right.
a sleep aid of some sort.
Yep. And I'm
uh,
gonna share the one that I use. And I
mhm,
think that just keeping that practice going through the holidays will help you stay stress free, and then not trying to add anything onto it until you get that going. But then
mhm,
we can go over some more stuff. One of the other things that I think happens during this time of year is the energy shifts. I've always loved the holidays, even before I was full time working on my passions, because
mhm,
it just felt like other people were more like in a happier mood in a way, like they were more giving, they're more conscious of each other. There's all of this ads around, gifts, and it just kind of changes the universal just vibe of everyone during the holidays. People are really just in a different place, even if there are holiday stresses. But underneath all of that cheer and merriness is definitely the stress of travel arrangements, buying gifts, wondering who you're going to spend time with, whether you got all of your goals done throughout the year. There is this high level, this high vibration of just energy flowing through everywhere when you're on the road, driving, when you're out in stores, shopping around. And so I always just when I try to be conscious of like my environment and things that are affecting me
Hmm.
or could affect me. And so one of the tips I wanted to think about sharing was saying no. This is a great holiday, beyond holiday tip, is just having good boundaries and being able to say no. But definitely around this time of year, your calendar, if it's not on there, don't add more things to your calendar. Don't add more things to your plate. Say no to opportunities that maybe are coming your way. Push them back. Don't feel guilty about doing that because of this vibrational energy that's going around and the other stress. You don't know what could just happen, and you already have a lot on your plate. And so putting more on it is definitely not going to help with that. So saying no and putting boundaries in place is a really good tip to keep in mind around this time of year.
Okay.
What do you think about
Saying
that
no.
one?
That's a big one because I definitely have a lot of opportunities that are coming. A lot of people have been reaching out to me lately. It's like kind of crazy. I'm like, oh yeah, hey, let me start doing more stuff, and then all of a sudden everybody's calling me, and I'm like, oh my gosh, this is different.
Yeah,
Yeah. So
exactly.
actually, how do you make decisions on what opportunities to say no to during this time and set your boundaries?
Well, right now I'm just trying to say no to everything.
Oh wow, I'm glad I asked you for this way before that no thing happened.
I know.
Yeah.
Um, yeah, like no, not always a no, but like later. Let's do that
Hmm.
later. I set
Okay.
my I set an out of office telling everyone to expect a delay in my reply through the new year. Like for real, for real. Like I'm checked out. Like it's fourth quarter, yes, all of that. But I'm trying to remain balanced. And what I'm doing in that sense is I'm making room for other things that are going to happen. People are
Hmm.
going to invite you to holiday parties. Friends are going to want to catch up on the phone. If you've already filled up your plate with all these other things, you won't have room for more meaningful stuff that only seems to happen around the holidays. And most of the time, if you say no or later, then people will be understanding. It's not like that opportunity is going to go away forever. They're never going to want to work with you again. We have this fear that when people ask us things, that's our only chance or we'll lose it. And that's not actually true. So
Hmm.
start building your calendar out for the first quarter of next year, slotting things in. And that'll help with putting you at more ease when you start off the new year too. You already got a bunch of things ready to go. You can just start building out from there.
Hmm. I like that.
Yeah.
Setting out your calendar for the next year, and then s- moving into the next year with grace because now you have things to work on and build. I like
Yes. I don't think I really answered your questions about how do I choose things.
that. Well, actually, no, you did. You
I hate
did
when people do that.
because it's you said and it was really interesting because at first you said no, but then you said that you don't necessarily tell people no. You let them know like during this specific time period later. Like,
Yeah,
hey, let's talk about this later. And you don't have the fear of like losing opportunities because I think that your opportunities are not necessarily based on like what's going on, but based on the relationships that you have, right?
absolutely. But there's also a time to just say no for sure. Nothing is always like yes, later, yes. Sometimes it should just be a no, for sure.
So
And
then how do you make the decision of what things should be no's to maintain your mental health during like the holiday season?
yeah, well, that means planning your no list in advance. Or
Mm,
you think of it as a no list, but it's kind of a yes list of like, these are the things that I should be saying yes to. If it's a request and has one, two, three, just listing out the things that are required for you to say yes to an opportunity, and
Hmm.
always going back to your gut instinct.
Hmm.
So, in addition to having that list of check boxes, like a pros and cons kind of a thing, also just listening to yourself. And if your whole body isn't like vibrating, like, yes, I should do this, then lean in and say no.
Hmm. Hmm. It's an interesting way to think about your decision making process instead of just does it make sense up here? Does it feel right in your body, your whole body vibrating a yes? And if it's not, then that's probably a no. And actually, that's kind of funny because that's what's happening with like some of the opportunities that I've been dealing with. I've only been really putting like a lot of time and energy into the opportunities that feel like a full body yes,
Yeah,
that just feel.
it feels right. Exactly. And there's a difference.
Yeah. And
Yeah.
oh, actually, no, no, no. You know what you mentioned earlier about pushing things back and saying no? I it's funny because everything ends up falling into place the right way. So I
Mhm.
actually had like I had somebody who reached out to me in my long list of people who've been like hitting me up to work on different projects to get help with their marketing or to get help with their sales and all this stuff. And one person reached out to me, and it was a struggle to try to get a time booked properly on my calendar. And they booked a time, but for some reason my schedule had put it during like one of my classes that I was teaching. So I had to tell them like, no, can't do it here. Let's redo a time. I'm sorry. Let's like reschedule. And I think we
Yeah.
had to reschedule like 3 times. It was
Yeah. Yeah.
ridiculous.
You feel so bad.
And
Happens. Yeah.
it was so bad. But I but it felt right. I'm like, no, I can't do it here. I have all these other things to do. But then the day came where we actually were able to book it on the calendar. And it happened last Friday. I had another call that happened right before it. It was going to be a long call with a client who was getting ready for like a really big grant, 6-figure grant that they were going for. And she, out of nowhere, her grant writer's like, I have a family emergency. I can't do this. So we're like scrambling, like, oh my gosh, what are we going to do? And then I had the phone call with this other person about something completely different. And as we're talking,
Hmm.
she's like, hey, yeah, I'm actually working on putting together a class on grant writing. I'm like, grant writing? Would you be interested in possibly working on a project? I have somebody who may need your help. She's like, oh, yeah, sure. And I'm like, I'm sending her your number now. And we're still on the call. And she's like, oh, she's calling me right now. And it was beautiful because after that happened, we were able to get somebody else to help with the first draft, get everything together. And now with this person that I connected with, we all three of us worked together and put together this fabulous grant application, and it was amazing. We were able to get it in, right on time, and it was beautiful. And the only reason why that happened was because I honored my other commitments and said no to that opportunity. Not yet. Let's reschedule. So
Yeah.
even if things seem as though that they're not happening at the right time, just know that everything happens at exactly the right time, and you shouldn't stress and just let the universe show you the process.
Exactly. I don't want to get all woo woo on it, but it really works that way when you
Oh,
start
get
to.
woo woo. We can get woo woo. We're talking about self care as the holidays.
Yeah, well, I want people to be able to digest it and start to just kind of realize and recognize all these little things that happen. And that's another tip for staying stress free is just kind of like being really present. It's challenging for entrepreneurs, I think, at least for myself, to kind of check out. Let me stop working for a little bit and I'm going to be in this space now with in this moment and really being kind to ourselves and giving ourselves that time
Hmm.
to enjoy and not feeling guilty about not following up on emails or doing whatever is on our to-do list. Um, but if you're able to stay present, your body's just going to recharge and you will feel better after. So
Yeah.
that's another tip is trying to stay present and aware when you're at holiday gatherings with family, really enjoying those moments. They don't come every day. So try to pay attention, listen to the jokes that are being told, the stories. Even if I remember my grandfather, he would always just tell the same stories over and over again. Listen to him because it's
That's
just
what
part.
grandfathers are for, telling you the same stories, because he needs to make sure
Exactly.
that you remember them.
Get this down. I'm really speaking to you.
Hmm.
So doing that, making time to be alone and be with yourself, I think is important too, as much as there's all of these holiday friendsgiving, holiday gift exchange parties, happy hours, Christmas parties, gift exchanges, whatever they are, and then the birthdays and the other things that come up. Taking time to just be with yourself and check in is an important stress free creator that will help you. Just so definitely do that too. Um, yeah,
Okay. That is a definite stress-free one.
I'm reading off my of notes now. We talked a little bit about boundaries,
Yeah, we talked
right?
about boundaries and saying no. We talked about being present and taking time to yourself. I personally do that weekly, and I tell my clients to do that. Like, take Sunday off.
Yeah,
Take your Sundays off.
and don't feel bad about it.
Yeah, because in the Bible, even God took a rest day.
Hmm. It's like we're doing this in order to have a lifestyle later. That's always what's told to us. It's like
Yeah,
you grind hard now, do the things that no one else will do now so you can live the way that no
no
one
one
else does
lives
later.
in the future.
You know, it's like, oh yeah, this promise of like this golden land like in 10 years or something. And it's just like,
It's like,
whoa, bro,
no.
listen, I'm gonna live like that right now today and later. What about that? So
Mhm.
I think taking time for yourself and just doing whatever you want for a little bit, that's why we do this, so that we can. There's a ton of people who cannot take days off right now.
Mhm.
They're not entrepreneurs. They don't make their own
Yeah.
schedule. They have a boss they have to report to. Be grateful for being able to just say, I'm going to do nothing today if I want.
Yeah. Don't feel guilty about it. You take
Hmm.
that day off. I think that's a really good one. Taking days off for your mental health and for your creativity too, because I don't think enough people talk about it in terms of your creativity, because we understand that for other work. You don't eat constantly throughout the day, because if you eat constantly throughout the day, you're not going to be able to digest your food.
Mm.
If somebody's working out, if somebody's like seriously working out, like really lifting heavy weights in the gym, you can't
Hmm.
do that every day. You need to alternate between times of stress and times of rest. But when we think about working as an entrepreneur, that's not something that the typical entrepreneur thinks of. It's just like go, 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 create content. I need to serve my clients. But if you don't have the time to rest, you have no time to think.
Yeah. And reflect. Such good points and analogies to other things in life.
Mm-hmm.
Love that.
That's why it's important.
And I'm glad we're having this conversation now, because yes, Thanksgiving is tomorrow, but that's really kind of like the kickoff to the season, right?
Yeah.
And so
It's
it's
the
like,
pregame to the holidays.
right. So it's a you can still kind of prepare for a lot of things. Definitely get that shopping done early. Heck, I shop year round. I'm a little bit of a hoarder, but I will buy something and tuck it away. Okay? And you
Really?
will see that come out as a gift later. Yeah. I keep a note in my phone
Mm-hmm.
for gifts, and when I see like something put together by a startup or a little artisan, you know, I'll buy in advance, even if there's nothing going on, just because you never know when you're going to need like a little housewarming gift or
Mm-hmm.
things for the holidays or whatever. So I keep a little section where I tuck things away, and supporting other founders and other entrepreneurs, looking for groups that you can use your dollar, the power of your dollar during this time of year will help you feel as an entrepreneur like you're giving back to the community.
Mm-hmm.
So always do that, and prepare for these conversations that you brought up earlier in the very beginning. Like, have answers prepared. You know, maybe Auntie Sarah is going to ask you about your
Your little
startup.
business thing, your little
Exactly. All these
that little
negative.
business thing you're doing.
Right. Practice. Find another founder friend and role play the conversation out. How are you going to get in that conversation and out of that conversation? You're going to reply with your answer, and then you're going to quickly change the subject, or you're going to
Or
have
you're gonna
your,
get up and be like, hey, thank you for asking. Oh, man, I'm so thirsty. You want something to drink? I'm gonna go grab something to drink.
yeah, or maybe you're going into a little 3-minute pitch, a little elevator. Get that friends and family round started and going. Start asking for intros. Call
Mm-hmm.
people out on the interest level. If they're asking, are they genuinely interested and want to support you, then ask for those things. Um, and if you have a product, physical goods, reminding everyone to support you during this time, support and shop, um, and prepare for any other type of odd conversations. I was reading a post that was about LGBTQ communities and how they can prepare for the holiday season. And that was one of the things, was like, that these conversations and judgment is going to come from certain family members. So get ready for them. Brace yourself for those conversations, or have someone in your family that really does support you as like a backup to get you out of situations gracefully if you need that. So those are
Okay.
some
Have your
tips.
tag team tap in, buddy, and
Right.
have your practice ready. I don't think people talk about that enough. It's to practice and get ready. Get ready for the
Exactly.
Yeah, because we think about that when we have tough conversations as an entrepreneur. Like, how do you prepare for a sales call? How do you prepare for a startup pitch? How do you prepare for uh, your content? But we don't talk about that. I think that's a really good insight and tip for the group. So to prepare for that process. But I wanted to point out something that I noticed that you mentioned, and it's like it was like a theme between a couple of different things that you mentioned, from talking about taking this time of year to start thinking about and planning next year, but also spending the entire year putting together gifts. And I think that inside of that is a secret underlying tip of planning and extending your time horizon and thinking longer term. And that's one of the most powerful ways. And it's actually funny because that's one of the things that I did with one of my high ticket coaching clients. What we did was she was extremely stressed, and she was going through a lot. And one of the first things that I had to do with her was to sit down and ask her, now, straight up, what do you want? What kind of business do you want to build? And then we had, of course, the usual conversation of her talking about, oh yeah, I want this, I want to make this much amount of money, and all this stuff like that. And then I asked her, well, what kind of business are you trying to build in the next 10 years?
Yeah.
And once she was like, no, I didn't, I haven't really, no, actually, no, I have thought about that. And she wrote it down and we talked about it. And through setting out a 10-year vision of the type of business that she wanted to create, of the type of personal brand that she wanted to create, she now had a vision that served as a lens for all of her decisions that she was
Mhm.
making right now. So, like, is this person, like, for team members in her team, is this
Yeah.
person that looks like, is this person somebody I think would fit into the 10-year vision of our company? Does it make sense to have them on the team? If not, then we need to, bring somebody else in who fits that vision. And it was funny because as we started changing things in her business, she started looking at the things that used to stress her before,
Mhm.
and she looked at it from a completely different lens because now she was like, oh yeah, this is bothering me right now, but this isn't going to matter in 10 years. So why am I going to waste my time thinking about it?
Mm.
And I found that like a really interesting perspective. And you mentioned it because it's part of your thinking and stuff. And what I've noticed with successful entrepreneurs who are less stressed is that when you take the time to think and plan long term,
Yeah.
you become more relaxed and calm as time goes on because you're not stressing the small day-to-day stresses because you know that the work that you're doing is contributing to a much bigger vision over a longer period of time.
Yeah. Definitely. It takes a long time, so it's a good idea to think that way.
Mm-hmm.
Like, it's never 6 months.
Yeah, no,
Go to market.
nope. It's like that's our wish list.
Right.
Oh, but it may not end up happening, and that's okay. That's why we have longer
Totally okay.
visions. It's okay
It's
to
your
take time.
journey.
Mm-hmm. It's a marathon, not a sprint.
100%.
Okay, that was good stuff. We
Yeah,
talked.
that's good. Taking some time to breathe. That's one. That
Yeah.
was a big
Oh,
sigh right there. I like that one. And also, just these are just regular things. Aromatherapy. I always keep it by my desk. Keep some aromatherapy to breathe in throughout the day. I'm also doing this new like probiotic daily mist. It's like wakes you up a little bit. And then this has become my new like favorite thing to keep in my desk. It's my Theracane. This would make a great gift for people. It's like a massager.
ooh, okay. A
So good.
Theracane.
The Theracane, you can get it
Looks
on
like
Amazon.
a curved back scratcher. So it's like a back massager?
Yeah, you just use yourself to power it. It's not electronic or
Oh,
anything, but
interesting.
it's really good. Highly recommend.
The Theracane. Yeah, I
Yeah.
used to do aromatherapy, and that definitely, I think that's one of the things in self care that we should definitely integrate a lot more into our day to day lives. It was something that I've done before. I when I bought the Love Box, if you haven't checked them out, they're absolutely amazing.
I'm getting
Um,
the first one,
you
actually.
are? Oh
Yeah.
man, Danny's
Someone
stuff is
got it for
amazing.
me as a gift. Isn't that awesome?
Oh yeah, of course it is. I actually got it for my clients as a gift, and they were like, "This is amazing!" And it smell is one of the most important things for like relaxation because we don't think about our sense of smell that much, but when you smell certain smells, and that's I think why the holidays are such a nice time because part of what's so amazing about the holidays, and I'm thinking about it now, is like it smells good.
Yes. You were cooking things. You got a
Hmm.
tree in the house potentially.
Yep,
Uh,
that cinnamon broom that's hanging up.
I know those things smell so good.
We do. It's like, oh no, the reason why I love the holidays is because I love the smell of the holidays.
Yeah,
Oh, yeah, and if we start incorporating more aromatherapy in our day to day, then we can make the rest of the year feel like holidays.
definitely. I love it. I swear by it. So good.
So that's another tip. Aromatherapy. Make the rest of the year
Yeah.
smell like the holidays.
Yeah. This one here is your standard lavender. It's super chill.
Mm-hmm.
But I am really into amber aromatherapy right now and Marah.
Marah.
Marah. I think that's how you pronounce it. It helps promote like preventing coughs and colds and get you into like this more like open-minded place. So I've been like rubbing it on my chest just because there's still COVID lingering around and I want to just feel healthy and like strong. So
Okay, so Marah. And what was
yeah,
the other one?
amber.
Amber and Marah to help
Yeah, yeah. And I'm
stay.
happy to link to people if they want them. Just send me a DM. My DMs are so totally open. I can send you links to any of the things that I recommend. But along the lines of those kind of things, float tanks, really good.
Float tanks.
Journaling,
I've never done the float tank. I always wanted to do the float tank.
do the float tank. It's really good. I love it.
The
If you
float
don't, if you don't mind, like, I mean, you don't even realize you're in a confined space. I mean, maybe you do. I'm sure there are people that are like really claustrophobic, wouldn't be good for them, but I'm not. So I really enjoy it. It's relaxing. It's warm.
Oh God, Steven. Who are these people, weirdo? What up, Steven? How you doing, man? It's been a minute
Which
since we've seen
Steven
you.
is it? I don't see the thing.
Steven Barkley.
Oh my God, Steven, hey. Good to see you. I was just thinking about you the other day. And I was like, dude, Steven, you feel like your number's always changing. I can't check in with you, man.
Oh man, Steven, you got to keep the numbers. That's important. People got to connect with you during the holidays, Steven.
But I'm glad that he chimed in and that he's doing good.
Hmm. Oof. That's what all the women say. Well, then how the woman's supposed to? How are they supposed to get in contact with you, man? What are you gonna start doing? Giving out your email when you meet women at the bar? Hey, girl, here's my Gmail. Hit me
Email
up.
me.
Oh
Yeah.
man, he says it's because the baby mamas. I had to change my number so many times. Too many baby mamas. Okay, all right, all right.
Dang.
Don't give him your email.
I was just
Oh,
trying to say hi.
what was
Yeah.
that?
I was just trying to say hi.
Yeah.
Check it. Yeah, that's a low key hack too, is this I'm very excited because I'm working a partnership with this brand with Quoka, so Quoka members get a discount. So it's not finalized, but you can consider this as somewhat an announcement of sorts.
Ooh,
Um,
an
there's a
exclusive.
program that I use called Call Your Friends. So good. It's like a reminder system through texting to check in with people that you care about. And you would think, like, I think when I was talking to the founder, like, the biggest objection that he always gets is people are like, well, it feels very inauthentic to have a reminder to call someone I care about. I should just remember. And I'm like, sorry, dude, we're in the digital age now.
Mm-hmm.
It just doesn't work that way. Like, our brains are computing so much information. It's input, 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 not enough output and downtime and like putting it on sleep, restarting. Like, you think of it as a computer, right?
Mm-hmm.
So it's totally okay to lean into some technology and make it work for you. Like, I always preach about, like, let you control your devices. Don't let your devices control you. So, like, I've written about, turning off notifications on your phone and all of that stuff, unfollowing people on social media. These are just beyond
I'm so
survival.
glad. I'm so glad you brought up the notification thing because that has been like my biggest low key hack for
Yeah.
me. And funny enough, mentors, people that I've been getting courses for, watching, Dan Henry, he's talked about it, and other like super successful investors and traders. And one guy I met, not met, but watched a video from him. He talked about how um, one of the things that he did was he downgraded to a flip phone.
That's
I was like,
extreme.
yeah, it was extreme. I was like, damn, it's so extreme. That's crazy. And while I was down in Brazil, I actually ended up breaking my phone, but I kind of did it on purpose because, like, I know that iPhones are like water resistant, but I had a crack on mine and I knew it would end up breaking. And I'm like, forget it. I don't care. And I recorded a video of me jumping in the pool. I didn't care. And when I did it, of course, my phone broke. And then I spent the next 2 months. No. It was almost like 3 months. Almost 3 months without a phone, and it was tough in the beginning, but
Yeah.
then it became wonderful because I'm like, I can still run my business on my phone. I don't really need my phone for my business, and I knew I wasn't going to get rid of it without it breaking. But I was like, you know what? This is great. And when it came time for me to come back to the States, I'm like, I kind of don't want to get a phone. I'm kind of cool with living like this, but I,
Yeah.
people needed to get in contact with me. So I'm like, okay, I have to get a phone. I went to Sprint and I asked them, like, hey, you guys got flip phones? And they looked at me like, you all right?
You got to
You
order
wanna
off
what?
the internet.
They're like, you wanna what? I'm like, a flip. Just give me an iPhone. I got one, but the one thing that I did that really helped me out was that I limited the number of apps that I added onto my phone. So
Yes.
I have like almost nothing on my phone. I got rid of all social media apps. I turned off notifications. My phone is always on silent, and I usually have it like off somewhere else where I can't even see it during the
Mm,
day because none of the messages I get during the day are really that urgent or important. I also taking off Gmail. Gmail was super important to take off my phone because it's
wow.
asynchronous communication and people don't expect you to send them a message at any given time. Just because you receive it doesn't mean that it needs your immediate attention at that given time.
Right, right.
And yeah. And by like getting rid of that, it has like improved my life so much. And I
Okay.
didn't notice how much it improved my life
Yeah.
until today actually. because I left my notifications on. I had to like switch it for something that happened. I need to switch it. I left. I turned it on, and I heard a ping, and my heart was like, I was like, oh my god, do people live like this every single day?
Oh my God. Yeah, I know.
So, biggest low key hack is, and it's fun. This is like going to be my new tagline. Productivity hacks are low key mental health hacks.
Totes. I can see that. Yeah.
Because all the stuff that I've taught, that I've learned for productivity, or that I've taught to my students for productivity, are mental health tips.
Right. The result is definitely an increased mental health and wellness, for
Mm-hmm.
sure.
So turn off your notifications. Delete social media off your phone. You don't have to delete. Of course, I'm getting a phone call right now. I told her. Oh, give me 1 second. Yeah.
Yeah. Turning off my notifications was huge. It took me a few hours to do it, but I did that years ago and it's been life changing. My phone is also always on do not disturb, like no need to be interrupted. I will call you back. And
Mm-hmm.
then the other thing is with the phone, no notifications, do not disturb. I forgot what the last one is, but I'm sure.
Newsfeed eradicator is one I use. Stephen made a comment. Not That's a genius idea. I use automation tool for social media posts when I have birthdays and check-ins. Oh yeah, Mike mentioned that he's. My phone is always on DND. I do that too. DND on my computer. One thing that I use as well that works amazingly is a newsfeed eradicator for your actual desktop, and it's a Chrome extension. And there's two. I mentioned one in my email list. Newsfeed eradicator is one because it gets rid of the newsfeed on any app. So like Instagram or Facebook and Reddit and all those apps, you can go on them and it replaces the newsfeed with like a quote, which looks fabulously. That, and then there's another one that's called, I think, hide your inbox. That'll hide your Gmail inbox, and you have to press a button to actually reveal your inbox. So even if you end up clicking to it compulsively, you won't see all of the messages, and you won't feel compelled to go through and like look at it and open them.
Oh my goodness. Yes. Yeah. Unsubscribing from things.
Oh yeah.
It's very good. It takes time to do these little things, but it really helps. And Gmail has one of those things. You don't even have to unsubscribe anymore. Just like filter.
Mm-hmm.
You click on the message, create filter, straight to the trash.
Straight to the trash, straight to the garbage.
No offense, but I'm just like, because a lot of places, they're like, use your business email to sign up. I'm like, no, I don't want this stuff in my business email right now.
Mm-hmm. You guys get the marketing email. That's what you get.
Yeah. So, because then they just overwhelm you, bombard you with stuff. I'm just like not into it.
Actually, let me see if I can do this. What I'm going to do is I'm going to invite you guys. So if you guys actually want to join us up here live, I'm going to put this inside of the chat. So if you want to join us live, just like click and join us.
Yeah, that'd be cool.
There you go. So click on that link and come on stage if you want to come join us. Stephen, Mike, or anybody else. Please feel free. We'd love to have you here. Oh man, I gotta make sure to go back to like my other webcam. I was gonna set up my phone for today's call, and I'm like, oh man, nah. I know my stuff is gonna be lower quality because your camera's pristine quality. Mine's like I look like a potato.
Well, yeah, that's why I like using my phone. And then, but I did just get a Ethernet cord, so I could plug my computer direct into the
World Wide Web.
The web, the internet, so that way it's fast and stuff or whatever. They say it makes a big difference with all these streaming we're doing.
Oh, it does. It really does. Because Ethernet gives you a consistent, your bandwidth becomes consistent. One of the problems with Wi-Fi is that your speeds fluctuate because of a whole bunch of things. But with Ethernet, it's like right there. It's
nice. I like it.
Yeah.
Uses Ethernet.
Yeah.
And want to do more
All right.
than
So
that.
what else is there? What else? What else can we talk about? What are also some really good self care and mental health? What are mental health tips that you during the holidays? Because we're talking about a lot of productivity and self care tips.
Yeah, which we said, those are helpful for your mental health.
Mm-hmm.
I think all of the ones that we went through, like, are good for your mental health. Talking to people, having a community, having that routine, journaling.
Oh no, we didn't talk about having a community. That was one.
Okay, yeah, we should talk
Yeah.
about that. Having a community is really important, and having the right community is even more important. Um, there's no problem as well with flowing through uh, communities. Like, if you find that certain things are no longer serving you for where you are, don't feel guilty about moving on, with your
Mm-hmm.
life. It doesn't mean anything bad about that person or you. It just is the ebb of world living, the ebb and flow, I should say.
The ebb and flow of life and living, letting go of old relationships and communities that no longer serve you. I think that's important,
It
and
is.
that's part of the unsubscribing. You don't just unsubscribe from the email. Unsubscribe from
Unsubscribe,
all these
unfollow
messages. Yeah.
people on social media. Keep that feed as clean as possible unless you use one of those apps you mentioned, which sounds really cool.
Yeah. I don't need to
I,
worry about my feed. I got no feed.
that's awesome. I
Yeah.
mean, I definitely like to control the feed. I like unfollow things, I'll block things. So I'll
Mm.
take the few extra seconds to click in and unfollow or unsubscribe, black, things like that, just to remove it.
So unsubscribing, going on an unsubscribe spree. Do some not spring cleaning, I guess winter cleaning. That's what it would be. Winter cleaning. You're gonna clean your house, clean your feet. Oh, I like that. So with
Yes.
this, okay, yeah.
No, I love that. The spree and the cleaning. Yes. Dust it out.
So with the dusting, with letting people go, I think the holidays and your mental health, a really important thing, I guess, around the holidays would also be reconnecting
Yes.
because we take for granted a lot of our relationships, especially with the people who've helped us out or our clients. And I think it's really good to take some time at this time during the year to help with your mental health and self care is to give gratitude and
Mm.
truly connect and rekindle your relationships. Um, and one of the best ways of doing that is giving compliments and giving gratitude to the people who matter to you the most in both your business and in your personal life.
Yeah, and being present in those situations when you're with them and showing up authentically. And if you're not doing too well, then that's okay. And I think being honest about that, it allows other people to show up for you where they are. If they
Mm-hmm.
can accept that, then there's room for them in your life. If they can't, then that's an indicator to you that, you know, now is not the time for you to have them in your energy
Mm-hmm.
circle.
I like that. Now's not the time to have you unsubscribe. And the people
And
that matter, express your gratitude.
yes,
Especially
gratitude.
since tomorrow's Thanksgiving. It's about giving thanks. Give people some. Don't just say, "Hey, happy Thanksgiving." Like, have an actual conversation with them.
Yeah, that can be a little stressful for some of us. If we're socially anxious or we are introverted. Also, a lot of people are out of practice because they've just been in the house for COVID and stuff like that.
Yeah.
It's like, oh, what do I do with my hands? You're in social situations.
I forgot how to people.
Yeah.
I'm so used to sitting without pants. Am I supposed to have pants in this conversation?
Yes, we're getting back to real life and stuff. So, yeah, I think that once you get into it and just remembering to breathe, oh, this is a really good one. Um, I learned this the other day. You can take your tongue, so imagine my hand's your tongue. and you roll it back against the roof of your mouth when you're listening, and it helps you be more present and listening to whoever's in front of you. Because it's just, I don't know, like I don't know the reasons why, but I imagine it's because then you're not just like, bleh, like you can't just like blurt out and start talking. You know, it's
Mm-hmm.
like be there, listening. So roll that tongue up.
No, people are gonna be like, "What are you doing?" I'm listening.
So that you're, breathing and listening, and don't feel like you always need to fill the space and talk. It's totally okay to let other people step up. As entrepreneurs, we're always leading. It's okay to just enjoy and let other people lead and be served and catered to, and just enjoy time. Like, yeah, my roommate is doing the Thanksgiving. They want to do the Thanksgiving thing. I'm like, okay,
Step
I'll
up.
cook a few things, but listen, don't come. He can be asking me like, what time's dinner? I don't know. What time?
You're the
What
boss. You
time?
said you wanted it.
You tell me what time to show up.
I'm a guest. I'm. This is my house, but I'm a guest this Thanksgiving.
Yeah, I'm like, I'm just trying to worry about this live stream later. I ain't got time to worry about the turkey. We're not actually doing turkey. We're doing duck this year, I guess. I've never had
Duck.
it before.
What kind of
I never.
duck?
Hmm?
What kind of duck? Is it just Dutch duck?
I don't know, dude. I don't
There's,
know.
well, what are you bringing to your Thanksgiving?
I'm doing mashed potatoes, macaroni and cheese, a salad, two
Baked
pies.
macaroni and cheese?
No, I'm making everything from scratch.
No, but I mean, it's not baked macaroni and cheese, just regular mac.
Baked, yeah, it's baked.
Yeah, that's why I was like, you're like, no, it's from scratch. I'm like, is it
Yeah,
is it scratch baked?
it's baked mac and cheese, the pies. I'm also gonna do a cornbread.
Give us a thumbs up in the chat or one in the chat for baked mac and cheese. Love that mac
Yeah.
and cheese. Oh, that's the best.
Hopefully it comes out good. It'll be my first time making it. So I got all the
Well, you
ingredients.
know what's funny when you said it's my first time cooking? I was like, have you never cooked in your life? And then I realized, oh no, she means for Thanksgiving. Oh, okay.
Yep, for Thanksgiving. So, and I'm not doing the whole thing. I'm not doing the turkey. So I think it's a
Okay.
good way to ease into it. Just
Yeah,
do a
no,
few
the turkey ain't a first time dish. You can't be making turkey first time. You can come with a potato. You have to come with a side. A potato salad, a casserole, because you can mess up on those because people can avoid it if you didn't do
Right.
it too well.
Exactly.
Yeah,
It's a lot of responsibility to try to take on the turkey.
yeah. The
That's
turkey.
added stress.
That's another self care tip for entrepreneurs. Don't take on the turkey.
Don't do it.
No, stick
Don't.
with sides and maybe bring ice.
Exactly.
I got wine and ice.
Definitely about that time for the wine.
Mm-hmm.
For sure.
It's about wine o'clock. Oh, okay. Well, I think do you actually let me ask you a question because I like asking these types of questions. So, Miriam, with this whole conversation that we've had, what is something that you wish I'd asked you that I didn't know enough about you to ask?
Gosh, you always have like the most, like, I remember the last time we had remember that podcast conversation, then you were asking these questions. I'm like, okay, this is some deep thinking stuff here.
Mm-hmm.
Something that I wish you would have asked me, but you don't know enough about me to ask. Oh my goodness. I mean, there's nothing that I wish you would have asked me. I mean, yeah, I definitely, nothing that I wish you would have asked me. I do hope that people are able to have a stress-free as possible holiday
Mm-hmm.
time. And I think it's great that you're doing these live streams. I'm a huge fan of them. And this prompted me to really think about some sort of like survival guide or holiday tips and things, and what did I want to put into practice.
You came up
So
with some really good ones.
thank you for that
It's been awesome.
push.
Stephen actually asked a really good question. I'm going to pose it to you because I think we should talk about it. So Stephen asked, let me bring it up on the screen.
All right, let's bring that up, and then.
Can you see it?
No, I can't. But I do have a call in 5 minutes here, so we're gonna have to.
Okay, yeah. We'll cut off. So Stephen asked a question: with mental health going online, with Meta going online, does mental health have a place in VR?
Yeah, it's a great question. I think I had a really interesting conversation on Clubhouse with someone who was like super gaming, and I'm very into like mental health, and not all technology is built to support humanity kind of thing. And his whole thing was that a lot of people that are in the gaming community find friends and find solace and get out of depressive states through these gaming communities. And so when thinking about the metaverse, it will be great for that reason. I don't think there's any substitute for real life situations. I think the metaverse has a long way to go. Some of the things that people are building really, it boggles my mind. Like, we have to start thinking about the way that we design technology. And these micro moments of dissatisfaction add up over time and create problems, anxiety, and increased anger and just frustration. Like, when I'm walking around in metaverses, it honestly frustrates me to the point where I'm just like, what the? Because we are so used to moving fast on the internet. So now you can't have me go back to like watching a character trot across a pixel. Like, it causes anxiety for a user, truly. So we should be able to teleport and stuff within the metaverses to get from one area to another. There is one that they gamified it where it's like you have to move your person using your keyboard, which I thought was different and actually kind of like fun. So just approaching some things like that. But attending events in the metaverse for me is 1,000 times better than Zooms. Like 1,000%. I really enjoy them a lot more. Going to those things and the cool stuff you can do with sound, where like if you're in one area, you can only hear sound from that area. You go to this area, you're only hearing sound from that. Like, I really am into that kind of stuff. So doing mental health events in the metaverse, I think is great to reach people. Metaverses all around mental health would be good. Like, going and having these experiences. There's a lot of things with technology that we can tap into. I'm starting to look into these Lucia lights, which are really interesting. So yeah, great question. Metaverse, mental health. Mental health needs to be a conversation that we're having everywhere. So the metaverse is certainly one of those places.
I like that. Metaverse is definitely a place for conversations on mental health. So Steve said, thank you for the perspective. I actually really enjoyed your perspective. He'll reach out on social media later. So he's going to reach out to you because he knows how to get in contact with you. But how can everybody else reach out to you regarding how can everybody reach out to you regarding Quoca and what you're doing? I actually included the link to actually download Quoca down below. So if you want, check the comments and you guys can join Quoca.
Yeah, please definitely join Quoca. We're still very early testing, getting a lot of feedback from users. It's most important to me. So join, hang out, see what it's all about. Give me some ideas. I'm here to support you on your journey as an entrepreneur. And if you want to get in touch with me, hit me up on social. I'm on every single channel, from Twitch to Twitter to TikTok. I'm Dorsett now, except for on Twitter, I'm EDU over ignorance, like education over ignorance. That's the only one that's different. But I'm on every
MH Dorsett now. How do you spell Dorsett?
Dorsett. The way it's spelled in my name.
Okay. I was like, oh yeah, we got that in the video.
Yeah, hit me up. I'm very responsive to DMs. Of course, right now you can expect a delay.
Okay. What should people hit you up with and ask?
they want to know anything about launching on Product Hunt, I'm a Product Hunt ambassador. If you want to get plugged into the entrepreneur community, happy to help you get plugged in there and give you my knowledge around publishing books. I'm a multiple published author, have some books coming out that I'm very excited about, Ryan. And yeah, of course, introductions to anyone in my network. If you see like I'm connected to this person, you don't know them, you want a warm intro, I'm happy to do that for you. Those are the things definitely can give. And, you know, asking is important. Closed mouths don't get fed. And I always tell people too, like, you don't have to warm me up. Like, you don't need to compliment me or something. Like,
Yes,
if
they
you need
do.
something
No,
from
they
me,
do. They should. It's
ask
for
me.
everybody. That's super important. I
No,
tell
no,
that.
no. Sometimes they want to have like a coffee and meat just to fill, gas me up. Just ask me what you want. I'm most likely gonna say yes. You
I mean,
no
come
need
on,
to gas.
gas me up. Let them gas you up. Get the coffee, girl.
Listen,
Come on,
I got
Miriam.
enough gas. I'm gassed up. I be gassed up.
Okay. All right. Well, I like that question. I'm going to ask that to all my other interviewees from now on. It's like, what should they hit you up about?
Yeah.
Awesome. Well, I know. Let me be respectful of your time because I know you have a call that's coming up. So I'll let you go. Thank you, everybody, for tuning in, and thank you, Miriam, for taking the time out of your busy schedule to share and not give us a no and join us for today's call. So I'm so happy that you're here and shared all of your awesome mental health and self-care tips for the holidays.
Thank you, Ryan. Anything for you, for sure.
All right. Well, I will
Appreciate
see
you.
you later. Enjoy your call. And everybody else, enjoy your holidays. We'll see you after Thanksgiving. Bye. Enjoy your turkey and your mac and cheese.